Hello everyone, this is Stephanie. Welcome to another video. So it's time for the Cornucopia necklace to go with the bracelet that we made. And this was from Eureka Crystal Beads Autumn Challenge design. So this necklace goes with the bracelet. Here it is plain. Here, and I mean, I wouldn't really call it plain. It makes such a statement just without the Rivolis, but you know, you want a little bling, holidays coming, absolutely adore it with the bling. It's a nice substantial necklace. It feels good on the neck, but as I said, either way, and the way you're going to get around both necklaces is I'm going to put lots of timestamps in the description box below the video so you can get to any part of the video that you need to get to. All right, I have a coupon code for you from Eureka Crystal Beads, which is, thank you guys so much for this, Pony 10% off your order of $25 or more. Take advantage of it. It's time to start ordering those beads for all your holiday makes. So, you know, you might as well save a few bucks. All right, so don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy my channel. And wherever that bell is, bring it so you get notified when I upload a video. Don't forget to click the down arrow to show more. Again, the timestamps will be there. All the materials, colors, shapes, everything you need, amounts will be in the description box below the video, as well as the coupon code, links to the beads, bead websites and such. So don't forget to check that out. Very important. All right, so I'm going to clear this off and we'll get a materials list going. Okay, let's get a materials list going. So if you are doing the one with the Rivolis, this guy, you'll need 3 already bezeled components from the bracelet video. So this is the Cornucopia bracelet, and I will put a link to the bracelet in the description box below the video as well, so you can make the unit. So it's a specific unit that works with the bracelet and the necklace. So you'll have to go back and bezel those. I mean, I just thought doing it again on this video would make the video so long. So we'll link that down below for you. You'll need 2 colors of fire polish beads. You'll need some of the Ginko leaf beads. You'll need a 15-0 seed bead, an 11-0 seed bead. These little 2x3 millimeter True 2 spacer beads, or a 2x3 millimeter Rondelle. Now, sometimes a 2x3 millimeter Rondelle by one company is a 3x4 millimeter in another. In other words, they are very inconsistent. So these work very well, these True 2 spacers, and also Eureka Crystal Beads 2x3 millimeter Rondelle work very well with this. And that was the one, that Rondelle was the one I used in the original bracelet, that gold one. I don't know if it was out of stock, but it might be back by now. All right, so that works as well. You'll need a clasp. So I have a little toggle clasp here. I've got a stop bead, size 10, and you might need a 12. I did a 10 the whole way and it worked fine. 8-pound Fireline Black satin. What else do we need? I think that's everything. I'm going to list everything in the description box below the video, sizes, shapes, amounts, you name it. You know, the coupon code, everything is down there, so don't forget to click the down arrow and the show more. You know, the box will open. You want to make sure that you get to the bracelet. I mean, it's just the previous video, I believe. But I will definitely link the video down below. It's the Cornucopia bracelet. All right, so I'm going to clear this off and we're going to get started. Okay, let's get started. So thread your needle with 5 or 6 feet of thread. You'll have to add thread during this necklace. Put on a stop bead, and you can leave a very long tail if you like, so that you can do this ending piece here. Couple of feet, 2.5 feet. That's a lot of thread to be hanging around, but you can if you want, or just leave enough of a tail to sew in, and this part will be added separately. That's what I did with this necklace. All right. So I'm picking up and dropping down to my stop bead, 1 fire polish bead and a Ginko leaf. And do you notice how I'm putting the bead on? I'm putting my needle this way so I can add beads over here. So it's always going to go up in this direction, like that. 3 11-0s down the other side of the Ginko leaf. Pick up a fire polish and another Ginko leaf bead. And all the fire polish I'm using here are the center color right now. That's the only thing we're using. This other one we'll do, we'll add on in a minute. So I have a fire polish, another ginkgo leaf, like that, 3 11-ohs through the other side of the ginkgo leaf bead, and the fire polish on the other side. Like that. Up through the ginkgo leaf bead, above it. We get a little pull. And then I'm going to sew through these 3. (11-ohs) down the ginkgo leaf and the fire polish bead. Okay, so we have our first sort of ending unit on. So get that done and come back and we'll add on. Okay, time to add some beads on. So picking up 3 of my center fire polish beads, exiting here, I'm just going to sew through the other side of the bead I'm exiting. Put on a right angle weave unit, going to sew through this bead, and then this one. I'm going to pick up a ginkgo leaf and 3 11-ohs. Just going to drop those down. I'm going to sew through the other side of the ginkgo leaf, picking up my green fire polish and another ginkgo leaf. Drop those down. Three 11-ohs through the other side of the ginkgo leaf, then the fire polish above it, through the ginkgo leaf above there, above that fire polish, giving it a pull. So I'm exiting the ginkgo leaf right here. Now I'm going to start the curve of my necklace. So I'm going to pick up 3 11-oh seed beads. Exiting here, I'm going to sew through this ginkgo leaf right here. And I'm not going to pull super tight, but just enough so that those beads pull the top together a little bit. See that? See how it's starting to go in here and it's sticking out a little bit there? So exiting the ginkgo leaf bead, go through the fire polish. And this ginkgo leaf bead underneath the fire polish. And you see how it's starting to pop out a little bit? I mean, that's kind of nice. It gives it a nice little curve this way and this way. So then I'm going to pick up my rondelle or the spacer bead, my other color fire polish, and another rondelle or spacer bead. And I'm trying to pick out ones that are pretty much, you know, close in size, because sometimes they vary a bit. I'm going to sew through the ginkgo leaf over here. I'm not pulling tight at this point. Through the fire polish and this ginkgo leaf bead, like that. Across through the 11-oh seed beads, all 3, or you know, just as many as you can get through at one time, and then down the ginkgo leaf bead and through this fire polish bead. All right, so this is what we have so far. So we're already starting to curve a little bit. So get that done and come back and we'll do it one more time. All right, let's add some beads on. So 3 of my center fire polish beads. Exiting here, I'm going to sew through this one. Through this one and this bead. I'm going to pick up this one, ginkgo leaf, and 3 11-ohs. I'm going to drop them down. I'm going to sew through the other side of that ginkgo leaf bead. Where are you? There you are. Okay. like that. Fire polish, Ginko leaf. Drop those down. 3 11-0s. So through the other side of the Ginko leaf and this fire polish right here. Like that. And then through the Ginko leaf bead. Now we're going to do our embellishment again. So I'm going to just grab a few more of my 11-0s. 3 11-0s. Exiting here, so through this one. The fire polish under, and then the Ginko leaf under that one, under that fire polish. Kind of pressing it down a little bit to make sure it's not bumping out too much and it's curving nicely. Rondelle or spacer, 4mm fire polish in your other color, and another rondelle or spacer bead. Sewing through this Ginko leaf bead, through the fire polish, and the next Ginko leaf bead. Pulling a little bit, sewing through the 3 11-0s. The next 3 11-0s, down the Ginko leaf bead, and through the fire polish bead. Here we go. That's it. So this is what you're going to do all the way around until you get the length of your necklace minus, so here I'll give you an idea what it's going to look like here, minus whatever, wherever, if you want to put this end on. So, you know, you can, if you run out of beads, the Ginko leaf beads, you can always add, you know, just this on. But we're going to just continue this around, you know, as far as we want to. Now, a couple things. The curve of this necklace, you know I keep saying it, it all depends on the size of the bead you're putting on. Now, as far as the Ginko leaves and the fire polish, they're pretty consistent in size. But seed beads and these little rondelles and spacers, so inconsistent, especially rondelles. Now, these little spacer beads are pretty consistent in size, but from one brand to the next, when it comes to a 2x3mm rondelle, can be wildly different. So when I am making a necklace where the curve depends on the size of the beads I'm putting on, I usually go back in my, you know, looking at my jewelry, and I grab a necklace where my curve is really good. So we'll just use this one. And I put what I'm working on top of it. And if it's curving just about like that is, no matter how I put it on, see, it kind of is like perfect, then I know my curve is going well. It doesn't have to be a necklace made with the same beads. It just has to be a necklace where the beads used, the size of the beads used will determine the curve. So I do that. That's what I do, just to be sure. If you are having trouble with your necklace being too straight or too straight, you can, and let's say you're using a Toho or a check seed bead instead of a Miyuki. Now this all works with Miyuki, that's what I'm using here, and the True 2 spacers. If you are using a Toho or let's say a check seed bead, you might have to adjust the beads you put in between to make the curve of the top. So instead of 3 11-0s, maybe you'll put 2 11-0s into the center, but a 15-0. You're just going to have to play with that if you're not using the same beads I'm using. As far as the spacer bead or the rondelle, if you're using a rondelle, now I've used the rondelle from Eureka Crystal Beads and that works perfectly. However, I've looked at rondelles from other brands and other websites, and the size is slightly different. So you might have to change the rondelle you put here in between the fire polish beads. So you might need a bigger one or a smaller one or a spacer. So that's how you're going to adjust the size of your necklace so that it curves nicely around your neck. Okay, so you're going to have to determine that depending on the bead you're using. All right, so with all that being said, have fun, get to the end, and then coming back, we'll add the ending right angle weave units and the clasp, and you'll have a really pretty necklace. All right, see you soon. Okay, we're back. So I've got my length done, and with this necklace, I had enough of my Ginko leaf beads that I could go further around my neck, so I just used them. This one I needed 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 units here, 5 or 6 right angle weave units at the ends to have it make it fit as a collar. This is a collar necklace, but this one I think I'm just going to need 3. So let me just pull in, and I'll just show you where to go from here. So I've added a thread on the end, so this is what the end looks like. I'm going to pick up 3 of my fire polish beads, and I'm just going to make a right angle weave unit by sewing through the other side. Let me pull in more. There we go. I'm going to sew through this one, and then the end fire polish bead. I'm going to pick up 3 more fire polish. Do that again. And I love these Picasso, turquoise Picasso fire polish beads. Aren't they pretty? One more. Okay, so this is what I have so far. So just get to this point and then we'll attach the clasp. Okay, we're back, so let's get the clasp on. So here I'm exiting my last unit here. And let me pull in a little bit. And here's my clasp, and I've put a jump ring on so that I can sew in this direction, or this way. Okay, I'm going to pick up a fire polish and go through the jump ring on my the toggle. I'm going to pick up another fire polish and just sew through this one. And I'm going to push that ring in between those 2 fire polish beads. It's not going to go at this moment. I'll do it in a second. So here we're going to go back through this one, back through the ring, and then down through this one, the other side. And before I tighten it, this is where I'm going to push that ring in like that. And we're also going to secure it a little bit better as we put some seed beads on. Do you see how it's in between the 2 beads? I just like it to do that. It's that way there's no stress on the thread. Do it any way you like. So I'm going around again through the fire polish, through the ring, down through this one. Okay. Now I'm going to pick up 2 11-0s. I'm just going to sew through the next fire polish. I'm going to do that all the way down. To the last one. Like that. This is what it looks like so far. Now I'm going to pick up 3 11-0s. I'm exiting this bottom fire polish. I'm just going to sew through these 3 11-0s on the outside of the Ginko bead. Like that. Through the Ginko bead. The fire polish above it. And the Ginko bead above that, if you can get it. If not, do them one at a time. Oops. Like that. Sewing through the 3 11-0s on the Ginko bead, like that. Picking up 3 11-0s, sewing through this fire polish bead to surround that Ginko bead. So it looks like 2 11-0s. Yep, just going back up. Through the next fire polish, through the next fire polish, 2 11-0s through the next fire polish, like that. And you can take an 11-0, sew through the ring, and another 11-0, and sew through the fire polish on the other side of the ring. Let's see if that makes it a little more secure. Yeah, that works. So see, now you've got an 11-0 above the fire polish and around the ring, and then I'm just going to sew my threads in here. So coming down the beads, and I would just take and put a half hitch knot right here, pull it into the next bead like that, and then you can do another one here, pull it into here, you know, whatever you feel is good for your you know, to keep it nice and tight and secure. All right, so get that done and come on back. We'll do the other side. Okay, we're back. So let's put on the toggle bar, and I put on a small jump ring here. This is a 4mm jump ring, and that one seems to work best for this. So I'm going to pick up a fire polish and 4 11/0 seed beads. I'm going to go through the ring. I'm going to pick up 4 more of my 11/0s and a fire polish, and I'm going to sew through this one. That's what it looks like. I'm going to make sure that that jump ring is, could even use a 5mm jump ring there. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to sew through the fire polish. So I'm exiting this one. I'm going to sew through this one and 2 of the 11/0s, just 2. Because I want to sort of compress these beads here. So I'm exiting that the 2 beads after this fire polish. Now I'm just going to sew down through the 2 on the other side, like that. And as I do that, I'm going to push my ring in. See how the ring is getting caught in between the seed beads? And we'll do it again, so don't worry about it. It will, if it pops out. You pick up a 15/0 or an 11/0 here. I think a 15/0 is a better fit, but I don't have one sitting right here. So I'm just going to I'm picking up an 11/0, but I think a 15/0 is better. And then sewing back up through these 2. So exiting the bottom one here, sewing back up through these 2. I'm just like pulling the beads together. See, so it goes through the ring nicely. And now I'm going to go up through these 2, through the ring, pushing that ring down. It's actually staying, and down the 4 beads on the other side. And then I have this sort of little extension. You can even make it longer. You just want to make sure you know it's going to go through your loop easy, and you know you need a little bit of space to pull it through, so you need a little bit of an extension there. Okay, I'm going to, you can go through this again. I'm just going to go straight down through this guy like that. Then I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other side. Oops. I'm going to put 2 seed beads in between the fire polish. Like that. Just like we did with the ring. And then I'm going to pick up, I'm exiting this one, I'm going to pick up 3 seed beads, sewing through the, through the 11/0s out on the outside of the Ginko bead. I was trying to sew right through. Like that. I've got a thread here because I added this thread on. Through the Ginko. Through the fire polish. Through the Ginko leaf. Up through these 3. Three 11/0s. Through the fire polish. You got it. And then just continue on with your 2 11/0s in between each fire polish. And then do what we did before. So you're just going to finish that up and just sew around everybody, sew in your threads, and then meet me back here and we'll continue. Okay, we're back, and for those of you who want a bit of bling, let's do this one. So we're gonna attach 3 units together, and then you're just gonna add the ends on. So it's very easy. So I'm gonna put that aside. Just love it with the Rivolis. So I threaded my needle with about 6 feet of thread, put on a stop bead. I did not put on a stop bead. I take that back. I've just sewn through one of the back fire polish beads, and then I'm going all the way around. So popping through these. And I mean, I know we have knots in there, but it should, your thread should go through without a problem. So I'm just sewing through the beads like that. I just want to get to the fire polish on the other side. So the one opposite the one I'm exiting, this one. And if you're having trouble getting through your seed beads, because we did put knots in the back, you could just do two separate threads here. I just figured I'd get one thread coming out of one end, one thread coming out of the other. So you see how these are directly across from each other. So like I said, if you're having trouble getting through, then just you just do one side at a time. So I'm just going to straighten my threads out. Okay, that looks good. So this way I can, I can add this one on, this unit on, and then add this unit on, and I don't have to add another thread until I put my ends on. All right, so I'm exiting here. I'm going to pick up a ginkgo leaf, 3 11-ohs, and sew through the other side of that ginkgo leaf bead. So we're just attaching like we did with the bracelet, but we're just doing different size beads so we can make it curve. Fire polish and a ginkgo leaf and 3 11-ohs. Like that. Back through this one and through the original bead I was exiting. Right here. And pull. So you see how I'm pulling so it's nice and snug. Then my unit is on right now. See? So I'm exiting this fire polish. Just going to sew up through the ginkgo leaf. Pull. So it looks like so far. Here, let me show you. Give you a second to look at that. There we go. Still working on the back, sewing through these 3. Down the ginkgo leaf and the fire polish. Okay, so I'm just going to let you get to this point and then we'll continue. Okay, adding 3 fire polish. Sewing through the other side of the fire polish. I'm exiting. Sewing through this bead and this one. Ginkgo leaf and 3 11-ohs. Sewing through the other side of the ginkgo leaf bead. Grabbing my other unit. I'm just going to sew through, so it's going to go right here. So I'm just going to sew through one of the fire polish beads. Like that. So that's the other, that's the fire polish bead that we would have put on for the unit. Ginkgo leaf and 3 11-ohs. Through the other side of the ginkgo leaf bead and the fire polish above it. Now you want to pull this like that, like so, and through the ginkgo leaf right here. That's right above the fire polish you're exiting. Don't get caught. Like that. So now I have 2 connected, but now I have to make it curve. So 3 11-ohs. So this is the top. Through this one. So the ginkgo leaf on the other side. Down the fire polish. Then a pull through the ginkgo leaf. Ow! Oh, that got myself good right there. All right. And then the rondelle or the spacer, the gold fire polish and another spacer through the other side. Just want to make sure that I'm not bleeding. Through that Ginko leaf bead, through the fire polish, like that, through this Ginko leaf bead. Just going across these guys again, like that, down here, down this fire polish, oops, excuse me, down the Ginko leaf, and then the fire polish. Like that. And I'm going to sew this thread in. And now I've already started to curve slightly. Okay, so just like that, that's what it looks like. Pull out. So you can do the exact same thing with the other thread. You're just going to add this guy on so that you have your 3 units on. So get that done and then come on back and I'll just get you started on the ends. Okay, we're back. So I have my 3 units on. I'll just get you started. Of course, this is very easy at this point, just like the bracelet, how we're going to just add the rest of this on. Now, just a note about if you want to do more than 3 of your Rivolis. I've got a very gentle curve going here with these. I think that you should just stick with 3 and let the rest curve around your neck. I'm just thinking that it will sit better that way. If any of you try it, let me know how that goes. But I like the way it sits this way, so I'm going to stick with keeping it, suggesting that you keep it this way. All right, so let me just get you started. So here I'm just going to, let me just start on this side actually. I'm starting on the back. So here is the top of my necklace. Pull in a little bit. So thread your needle, 5.5, 6 feet of thread. It takes a lot of thread, but it's a nice substantial necklace. Put on a stop bead, leave enough of a tail to sew in. So here's the top of my necklace, here's the bottom. I'm just gonna sew through, just working on the back now, working from the back. So just sewing through that end, fire polish, and just like we did before, Ginko leaf bead and 3 11-ohs. Drop those down. Sew through the other side of the Ginko leaf bead. Now we're picking up the center 11-ohs here, so these guys here. A center fire polish. So 1 fire polish, a Ginko leaf, and 3 11-ohs. Sew through the other side of the Ginko leaf and then the fire polish bead that's on your unit. Oops. To make a unit, pull. I'm going to sew through the Ginko leaf bead that's above the fire polish I'm exiting. Just moving my piece around so it's comfortable to sew. Through these 3 at the top, down the Ginko leaf bead and the fire polish bead. Got it. 3 of my fire polish through the other side of the fire polish bead I'm exiting. Through this one, Ginko leaf. I'll just get you through the whole unit. Ginko leaf, 3 11-ohs, other side of the Ginko leaf, fire polish, so that's my center fire polish, a Ginko leaf bead, and 3 11-ohs. Drop those down. Oops, just lost one. There we go. Sew through the other side of the Ginko leaf, like that, through this, oops, so exiting here, through the fire polish above, through the Ginko leaf. Now let's do our curve. 3 11-ohs. Exiting this Ginko leaf. So through this one, pull, fire polish and Ginko leaf bead, pull, rondelle or spacer, gold fire polish, and another rondelle or spacer, up through this guy, pull, through the fire polish above it, and the Ginko leaf above that one. Pull, so through these three, down the Ginko leaf and the fire polish. All right, so that's how we're gonna, and then you're just gonna keep adding on units. So this is what it looks like. All right, so here's, see, it's a really nice curve now. So yeah, I would definitely just do the three. All right. Gee, that's going to be so pretty in that color, isn't it? All right, so get that done. So you're going to do this whole side, then you can add a thread on and do this side, and you don't need me to go through this again. I'm going to put, you know, there'll be timestamps everywhere for you to get to everything. So you can add the same ending on as you did with the previous one, and then come on back and we'll finish up. Okay, we're done. How about that? So this was so much fun. I really enjoyed this, and I had so much fun with all of you with your participation. It was so great. So here's the necklace plain with the Rivolis. You know, it really makes a statement either way, I believe. Look what a statement that makes. Look how pretty this is in the fall colors. However, you know, with the holidays coming, you want a bit of bling, go for the Rivolis. It really was just so enjoyable to design this. Don't forget the coupon code PONY10 for 10% off your order of $25 or more. It's that time to order beads. You might as well take advantage of getting a little, you know, a few bucks off. All right, so thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.